Heat hangs over a dry riverbed. Dust lifts in thin sheets with every little gust. An orphan elephant calf stands exposed, too small for this open ground, ribs visible, breathing fast and silent. He nudges the cold flank behind him again. No response. The mother won't get up. There is no milk. Eyes blink in the grass. One, then two, then more. Lynxes spread out in a loose ring, cautious, curious, testing. They're not a classic pack. They're opportunists pulled in by one simple signal the land never ignores. The thin, repeated cry of a young animal alone. They keep distance, but not too much. They want to see if fear will make mistakes. The calf steps toward the river's lip for shade and stumbles. A lynx darts forward with a quick cuff of the paw, not a full attack, just a probe. The ground at the edge gives way. The calf drops to his chest, front legs sliding into the cut, back feet flailing. For a second it looks over. He kicks, finds a root, and heaves himself back up. It's a small win, but it changes everything. He is now shaking, wide-legged, learning fast that the ground is a hazard too. The cats pause, surprised at their own success. Then they adjust, spacing themselves to close the angles without committing. Risk versus return. Hunger has been bad this season. Rabbits are scarce. Birds moved on. The ring is not confident yet. It's bold enough to press. He turns toward water. The bend holds a black, stinking pool. Mud, insects, old leaves. But it is cooler than open sun. He steps down the path other hooves made in spring and stops because a shape rises from the center, like a boulder lifting its head. Hippo. Eyes just above the surface. Ears twitch. He faces the calf and breathes out a heavy blast that flattens flies and ripples the water. The cats hold at the rim. They don't like water policies. Clouds stack into tall columns. Thunder mutters beyond the ridge. The calf wades into the shallow edge because heat takes judgment before it takes strength. Water shocks his legs and belly. He drinks, coughs mud, steadies. The hippo doesn't move. That tells everyone who owns the pool. Then another problem. A loose strand of fence wire hides in the reeds. It slips around the calf's right hind leg just above the pad. He shifts. The wire tightens by a notch. He jerks. It tightens more. He freezes. Pulling will only make it worse. He lifts the leg carefully and finds it trapped, a human leftover that outlived its use. Up on the bank, the lynxes spread into a half moon, watching both the calf and the pool. Tails tick, ears forward. They are weighing their next move. The hippo raises his head an inch, and the pool adjusts around him. He is not aggressive. He is measuring. The calf breathes in short sips, eyes moving between the bank and the water. A low vibration moves through the ground, too low to hear properly, but clear in bone and belly. The hippo tilts an ear. The calf lifts his trunk and tests the air. It smells like rain and something else. Weight, distance, a note that makes the soil answer. The ground pulses in steady rumbles, separated by space and stitched by soil. The calf angles his body to listen the way calves do before they learn anything else. Through the wire and water, a distance call rolls in like a slow bell. The hippo's ears rotate. He is tracking sources, not showing threat. He blows another low spray, a plain message. This is his pool, and he is paying attention. The lynxes change their plan. When the rumbles start, they do not charge. They sit, calculating. Their bodies now face the reed wall where the unseen weight is coming from. Without meaning to, they end up between the calf and the rest of the world. The ring becomes a boundary that looks more like crowd control than a hunt. The calf tests the wire with slow, small motions. Lift a little, roll a little. The loop gives a fraction. He stops. He is learning minute by minute. Force makes wire meaner. Patience makes it slide. Cloud shade cools the air. Colors shift from gold to green. The pool darkens like a pupil. A breeze crosses the surface and carries smells. Wet mud. Cat, old milk. Want more than fact. What arrives out of the reeds is not a herd. It's one female elephant, alone, older, moving with careful steps. Place feet, pause, listen through ground. Repeat. Her temples are gray, ears nicked, skin mapped by years. She stands quarter onto the pool to read scent and sound without blocking her exit. Adoption is a decision, not a reflex. She samples the air again, lowers her trunk to the ground for a long count, and reads the scene. Wire, cats, hippo, heat, death. Once milk, now none. She also reads the line under all that. Risk worth taking. The lynxes hold their line. One thin female, likely nursing, stands to get a better view past the matriarch. Hunger changes rules, but so does maternity. The hippo shifts a little toward the reeds where the wire glints under cover. He bumps the rotten post with the blunt of his head. It moves a hair, then resists. He learns what pressure the wood will respect. The calf leans against the loop to show the world what's wrong. The wire sings, a thin metallic note. The matriarch stays still. No flapping, no dust, no noise. Stillness calms the field. The cats sink lower, watching outward. They are now a perimeter. It looks unlikely, but it works. Thunder moves off. A brief shaft of light edges everything. The wire twist, the hippo's scarred ear, the matriarch's spine. The calf lifts the trapped leg again. A reed snaps. The loop eases a hair. He freezes, memorizing which motion gave him that slack. The hippo takes that as permission to try a different angle. He lowers until the pressure will land at the post's weak point. Ancients know leverage. He presses slow, down and back, not hard. Rotten wood listens to that kind of pressure. Far off, jackals appear. 2, then 4, trying to see what they can steal from this confusion. The lynxes see them first and go tall. No hissing, no charge, just bodies placed across the approach lines. The message is clear. Not today. The calf twitches at the sight of the jackals, jerks the leg, and the loop bites again. He makes a ragged breath. The matriarch lowers her eyelids in one long blink. It's not dramatic, but it resets the room. The hippo drives again with water behind him. The post pops a few centimeters in its bed. The wire shivers on the calf's skin as if it can't decide whether to give or punish. The ground trembles in small, honest ways. Effort, not panic. The hippo hooks the post with his jaw against his shoulder and combines 2 motions, down and back. Wood remembers upright until someone teaches it otherwise. The post tilts more. Wire reacts like a coil being dragged. The loop tightens once, then slips. The calf sucks air through his trunk in short bursts. The pool goes quiet in that special way, right before something breaks or releases. The matriarch doesn't shift a foot, but every calculation in her body updates. A jackal trots 3 steps down the far bank with the open-mouth grin that isn't humor. It meets a lynx at a narrow shelf. The lynx stands tall, refuses to give way. The jackal glances at the hippo's mass, numbers the physics, and veers. The ring holds. The hippo pushes again, this time rolling the post in its rot. The wire changes pitch. One full twist lifts off the reeds like an old snakeskin. The loop around the calf's leg slides. Mud suction breaks with a soft kiss. The skin frees with a wet peel. The calf steps out with the tentative gait of someone testing ownership of his own feet again. There is a cost. As the hippo wrenches his head free, one barb catches soft lip and opens a clean line. He snorts hard. The jackals reconsider everything. The lynxes shiver once, then settle. The hippo drops back into the pool, blood already browning in water. He is not asking for thanks. He is doing what protects his space, and it happens to free the calf. The calf tries land like a person tries a new brace. Toe, pad, heel, pause, breathe, repeat. He leans toward the matriarch, stops a yard short, head low, trunk half raised. It's a question any calf knows. Do I belong under you? The matriarch waits. Adoption is a hinge that swings once and stays. Rain lifts across the ridge in a visible sheet. First drops land big and honest. Too few to change dust. Enough to change smell. The lynxes lick their noses to taste it. The jackals turn away with the short, irritated trot of scavengers outplanned by the day. The calf takes the last step and presses his face against the matriarch's foreleg, right where heat holds. She lowers her jaw until it touches his neck. No trumpet, no show, just weight placed where it matters. Then she turns, not away from him but forward, downwind toward thorn and mopane, toward a mineral lick that will help, toward real shade. The calf follows. He stumbles once and recovers. The cut on his leg beads, then seals. The hippo watches them leave with the steady look of a beacon. Water takes the little red, dilutes it, and moves on. The lynxes break formation as quietly as they made it. If you walked the reeds later, you'd find small prints and one oval dish where a cat sat and watched a long time. You might also find bird feathers cached and then ignored when the day changed. A hard blue hole opens in the cloud cover. Sunlight turns edges sharp. On the calf's leg, the wire line stands up, then calms down. He leans into the matriarch again. He is still small, but no longer alone. The answering rumbles are layered and close. 2 adult females and a younger cow step out from mopane, bodies throwing wide shade. No rush, no display. They read the calf in a glance. Age, wound, fear level, energy left. The matriarch holds the path. She is not asking. She is declaring, "This one is under us now." The younger cow, milk still noticeable along her belly, stops a body length away and lowers her trunk until the air over the calf warms like breath. He leans into it with relief. She holds that position a few seconds longer than necessary. A simple way of saying you're covered. Stormlight tears and re-sows across their backs. In the same frame, the coalition that built this hour is still visible if you look. The hippo's pool holding a tilted post, a slack line of wire halfway buried in reeds, lynx trails braided like quick handwriting, and an elephant calf rethreaded into safety by forces that didn't meet to plan it. The calf presses to the matriarch's leg again, and then steps sideways as the younger cow moves to form a living wall. There is no nursing yet. That takes time, hormones, and a series of steps the body has to choose. But the perimeter is real. He is inside it. He settles. Back in the pool, the hippo submerges until only 2 coins of eyes show in an oval of ripples. The cut is underwater now, salted by the same element he lives in. He has nothing to prove. He has a territory to manage and a day to finish. That is enough. The lynxes are gone in the only way wild cats really leave. No sound, barely a trace. Walk the edge, and you might find a shallow seat pressed into mud. Nothing dramatic, just evidence that patience happened here. The matriarch sets a slow, right pace toward the mineral lick. The others bracket the calf to shield wind and sight lines. They pass the old fence line where the map used to insist and the ground now disagrees. The calf steps on slack wire and doesn't startle. It's printed on him as a lesson, not a law. At the lick, the younger cow shifts weight, a mother's cue to wait and watch. The calf mirrors her without knowing he's mirroring. He drinks minerals like a body paying back what fear took. His eyes clear. He yawns like a baby that has run out of adrenaline. He folds down and sleeps. Down in the pool, a crocodile rolls once. The hippo doesn't react. He's watching the seam where shade meets shore because that's where problems start. The pool is smaller by morning light, but that's a trick of scale. It can still drown anything careless. The herd stands and forgets the world for a while. The matriarch blinks a long, complete blink and moves 1 foot forward with enough weight to mark the ground. The surprise today isn't a showy miracle. It's simpler. Predators paused. A hippo solved a fence. Wire lost its purpose. And elephants updated their family. No speeches, just steps placed right. At dusk, the camera wakes and does the one job it has: record without opinion. First frame, the calf under a living arch. 2 females standing like solid bookends for the dark. He needs air with his forefeet, an automatic comfort move. Second frame, he tucks his head under a belly that isn't his mother's and stays there. No sound. You feel the message anyway. Acceptance. The camera stores seconds and pixels. The ground stores prints. Small ovals crossing big ones, messy and honest. If you walk the line in daylight, you'll find salt smears where tongues worked plants, round pads pressed deep, a hippo track near water with no drama attached. The post still leans. The wire is slack and half hidden. A kingfisher misses his reflection and tries again. Life returns to normal, which is the best possible outcome. By mid-morning, there's no sign of the lynxes. That is their strength. A small mud seat where one watch now holds a shallow puddle from last night's sprinkle, and a finch uses it like a bathtub. Make something of small mercies when you get them. That's how the bush lives. The matriarch leads the moving patch of shade along the thorn's shoulder. She teaches by doing, not signaling. The calf stays inside the geometry of bodies. He sleeps when they stand, rises when they rise, learns edges and safe lines, learns waiting and water. He is filling in the missing pages quickly. What we call a surprise, animals call work done right. No one promises the calf forever. He gets today, and a route to more todays if weather and luck cooperate. The pool still has depth he should avoid. The wire should be cut or buried by rain. The hippo might shift to another water when grass argues with his appetite. The lynxes might have kittens to feed in a week. None of that erases what happened here. If you stand where the camera stands long enough, rumbles will move through you and reset your breathing. For a moment you'll match their rhythm. Worry will drop its shoulders. You will listen instead of push. That is the quiet this place protects. There are different shapes of rescue. Some look like lifting. Some look like holding a perimeter so the right help can act. Some look like being the help even when you didn't plan to be. Today stacked all three. No ceremony. Just coordination without a meeting. At last light, the camera catches one more frame. The calf in open ground for 5 steady breaths, practicing courage. Then he jogs back under the wall of bodies that now claim him. It's a small image on a small screen. It's also the whole story. If this met you in the quiet space you keep, stay with us. We tell wordless rescues because animals aren't ideas. They are neighbors with memory and choice. Subscribe, share this with someone who forgot what good work looks like, and come back for the next story. Out here, courage doesn't shout. It shows up, holds, and lets go at the right time.